Midwives, Uncut. Hi, guys. Welcome. Long time, I know. We kind of suck at doing our weekly thing. We try. We're sorry. But we do have a topic of discussion for today that I was a bit passionate about. And Sandy's going to make sure that I don't get too heated about it. So today's topic is going to be midwives, licensed midwives, being able to do their job. Because it's difficult in a society and in a state that really puts so many rules on us that it almost
restrictions
that it almost makes it impossible for us to do our job. And then on top of that, you have other providers who are really uneducated in what a licensed midwife is. It's different than a nurse midwife,
right?
And they can't seem to wrap their minds around it, and so they reject instead of listening and accepting and embracing.
Or they really don't. They assume to know what our training is and what we do, but they really don't, and then they provide incorrect, false information to people. Mm-hmm. That would then
reflects poorly and unprofessionally on us.
Yes.
And them as well, in my opinion. So how it should be is licensed midwives are out-of-hospital providers. So we specialize in low-risk women, and we make sure to follow them and do all the same testing, all that good stuff. And when a risk factor presents, that is when we should have a specialist we reach out to, collaborative type of care, mm-hmm. and we can discuss the problem and then decide what is best for the client, right? Can they stay on the path of the midwifery out of hospital, or do they now need to switch over and communicate with the new provider and smoothly transition to their care?
Right.
And that should be how it is prenatally, and how it should be in labor in a hospital. How the transfer should be in labor. Is when we see something during the labor game that we're not comfortable with,
right,
then we should be able to reach out to our local hospital and say, hey, this is what's going on. We're not comfortable. We're on our way. And they should now be properly alerted by us, provided that client's information, labs, all the necessary, details. And then when the patient arrives, they then take over. And we entrust our client to a new provider.
Without any back and forth or...
Very simple.
And really, our goal ultimately, because we know that mom doesn't want to transfer. We don't want to transfer. So our goal is to try to make it as smooth as possible. And sometimes when we get backlash or the mom gets chastised for choosing an out-of-hospital birth, and then she's told things like, well, this is what you get for choosing a home birth. That's not okay.
It's not professional.
It's not okay.
It's not ethical. And it also reflects poorly on both sides.
Right.
Because it looks like two kids don't know how to talk.
Right.
So, and it also reflects poorly on the medical system that we have in place, and probably why more people are choosing to look elsewhere. So what we have instead, I listed what should happen and what would be ideal and responsible for both parties. And what instead we have is prenatally, we reach out with risk factors to OBs, and we get they're not our client. We can't help you. You're a specialist. It's kind of like what you're trained to do.
Right. We even have situations, and not just coming from us. Like, I'll give you an example. I recently had a client that at her anatomy ultrasound found out that she's having twins, which is so beautiful and amazing. However, she was almost 20 weeks, and had she not contacted the OB prior to 20 weeks, she wouldn't have been seen. And yes. I don't understand that.
That's a Florida thing, though, I think.
Like, if you're 20 weeks, I'm sorry, you're too late in care. What? Some people don't even, I'm sorry, but I know people don't even find out they're pregnant until almost 20 weeks.
Yeah. What that sets a woman up for is no prenatal care. Now they can't get a provider, so that they don't go anywhere.
Right.
And then they don't want to go to a clinic sometimes. So now they're stuck with no care, and then they walk into a hospital for their birth, and it puts everybody else in a higher risk level, in my opinion. Now the provider doesn't know anything about you. There's no records on you. I don't know your status, and now I have to take care of you. And so I tend to maybe want to do the easiest way out because I don't know you.
Right.
So we take clients late in care simply because we just want to make sure that a woman is not getting neglected, right? Because the purpose is to take care of, right? It's obviously not ideal, but we're not going to leave you stranded.
Right.
The goal is a healthy mom, healthy baby.
Right.
I can't figure how that benefits a healthy mom, healthy baby when you choose not to take care of somebody late in care.
Like we get it because
especially when you're trained in high risk.
Exactly. We get it because we do not that we don't like to take late transfers. It's not ideal because we haven't had enough time to really spend with you and go over everything and make sure that your mindset is on the same path and for you to feel comfortable with us and us feel comfortable with you and you trust your providers. A lot that goes into preparing for out of hospital birth, right?
It's different than in a hospital.
It's somewhat of a high risk for us to take a late transfer because we don't know anything about you. We don't know what your mindset is, and
our specialty is not high risk.
It's not, right? And we don't know, how prepared you are for this process.
More of a mental thing.
More of a mental thing, right? So. But of course, we will do it as long as everything has been healthy and you've had care and we can see your records and things like that. But it really blows my mind that there are so many providers that turn away moms because of that reason.
Another thing that we get is who's your backup? Who's your backup doctor?
Every time.
A cleansing breath before I answer that question. So, licensed midwives are sole practitioners. We do not have somebody that we work under, which is why collaborative care and good relationships is so important. So what a midwife usually does is reaches out to OBs in her area.
In the community.
Yeah, and in the hospitals that she's connected to or close to. And says, hey, I do this, and I'd love to be able to refer clients to you when there's factors that present that are outside of my scope. And so we did, and we get, we don't do that.
No, sorry, I work with other doctors that are not okay with that. Or
we don't really.
No.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, we're not gonna do it. And it's just every single person, and we've tried many times. We contact the hospitals.
We've even contacted hospitals, Coral Springs Medical, Northwest Regional.
And they just
we've contacted them, and we've asked if we could please set up a meeting so that we could make transition smoother in the event of a transfer.
Right.
There are modules set up on how to make a home to hospital transfer smooth and convenient for both parties, and protocols that are already put into place to make it successful. And it's been rejected. And it's very difficult for us to do our job
when we don't
have good collaborative care.
Right.
And so where's our consulting? Well, we don't have one that is actually
nearby.
Willing to, number one, they're not nearby because the one blessing one that we have is very far. And God forbid anything ever happens to him. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Because everybody else shuts us out, and it's just
we
can't do our job when
it's really unfortunate when there's a lapse in care.
Yeah.
And it should be a continuous care for a woman because whether she chose birth center or home birth or the hospital,
nobody should be chastised.
Right.
For that. We don't punish people when they decide to go to a hospital.
Exactly. Absolutely not. We support whatever choice that woman makes, and when we are in the field of being a birth worker, you should be the supportive person to support every aspect of birth, however which way it comes about. And we are really passionate about this because
it's very frustrating.
It can be very frustrating, and for
our
our clients
it just
too.
Makes our job harder. I want to be able to immediately contact a high risk doctor and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Let's nip it in the bud
right now. Yep.
Instead, I have to wait weeks and weeks, and that is not okay.
That's
so
not
then
okay.
we end up having to send our clients to hospitals.
Right.
where they get chastised for having a licensed midwife.
Yep.
Which is doing her job by sending her there,
Right.
and yet they still get criticized, and so it just makes everything really uncomfortable and unnecessary.
And midwives are extremely thorough and extremely
Now you have bad seeds wherever you go.
in both.
Terrible OBs that you just like, what the hell?
And
then there's terrible midwives where you just think, what was she thinking?
Right.
You cannot judge.
Generalize it.
You can't generalize. You can't
Right.
say all licensed midwives do this.
Right.
How would you like it if I said that about all OBs? It's not possible.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And you should be open to meeting with other providers in the community that do similar work and who may need your help, and be open to collaborative care. I think if you follow the home to hospital module, it's really set up to make it nice for the moms. And let's not forget, that's who it's about.
It is.
In the
It's
long
not about
run,
us.
it's making sure that they are able to have a smooth transition, even with bumps and curves in the road. They should trust that their providers are able to communicate to other providers and get them the appropriate care at the appropriate time.
Right. And they should be able to feel comfortable with if the decision is made to go to a hospital, they feel that when they get there, they're going to be in a safe environment, in an environment that's going to support their choices, even that their birth plan has changed, and that we are going to be able to communicate without making them feel uncomfortable.
Right. So
It is sad because I literally can only count in my head about 3 OBs in all of South Florida that back up midwives.
yeah,
That's
and
a crazy
sad
number.
because there's like hundreds of
Thousands.
OBs.
Yeah.
So there's just no reason for it. We are not taking your job away.
No, we don't. Listen,
We're not providing bad care. Matter of fact, the more we can communicate with you, the better care we can provide our
yep.
clients.
We don't want to take clients away from OBs. That is not our goal, because those clients want the hospital birth. They want that care. They want the medication for labor. That's okay.
We are put in a unique situation where there are a group of women who want to follow the traditional method of pregnancy and birth,
Right.
and we have to now use our skills to be able to navigate that style of birth in an out-of-hospital setting with limited resources and make it good. And I think that we should there should be a respect for that, and an acknowledgement that that is okay, because, we were here first. We were the first providers.
And
take that. We were the first providers before there were such things as OBs. And I say that because there is there's a layer of a foundation that should kind of what led you to be an OB. That layer is there with midwifery care. It starts there, then it moves on and upward and upward. So let's not take away our grounding foundation.
Other parts of the world, the UK for example, everyone goes to a midwife, every single one. And they only have OBs for emergency situations, and even high risk moms go to midwives.
Oh, and we had a few, because sometimes we have like international students, midwifery students that come here, and they are shocked and appalled at the lack of communication that midwives and OBs have here in the States, because it is not like that over there, and their outcomes are amazing.
Really great.
I mean, we have really good outcomes as midwives. Our outcomes are great. We handle low risk women. We're great like that. But they have it where they're able to communicate well, as it should be. You communicate, this is what's going on, take over. It's like when you go to your family doctor and they discover you have an illness. They send you to the specialist.
They send you to a specialist.
We're at step 1, and then if we have to go to step 2, we want that communication. We really want it. And we shouldn't be so dependent on one OB to consult with us,
Because then it also, because
pressure on
it's
him.
a lot of pressure, it's stressful, and not only that, I feel that, for example, I'm not going to say any names, but there's an OB in Miami that covers a lot of midwives, and he cannot be at every single birth.
Well, that's the other thing.
He can't. He's one person. And I have had, moms say, well, they said they had a backup and then he wasn't there. I'm like, of course, he's backing up like 30 midwives. Do you think that he's going to be at every single birth? He's not.
It shouldn't be one backup. It should be
multiple.
A transfer there, that's, and be open to it.
Exactly. It should be
we're medical
understood.
providers. We're taking care of people.
Right.
And sometimes we have to transfer out. Mm-hmm. We need that, It actually, in our law, it should be where we can credential with hospitals and be able to have that flow. But, good luck with that. That's not going to happen.
Well, that's just like IBCLC should be able to be hired by hospitals, and they don't do that either unless you're also a nurse or you're also an MD, because then they can use you as a nurse on the floor, but then they can also use you as a lactation consultant. That's what happens.
We are not nurses. Neither are OBs. That wasn't our field. Our field was midwifery. Mm-hmm. Their field was obstetrics and gynecology. This is what we do.
Right.
If you want a nurse, get a nurse, but they don't do deliveries typically. So
midwives do. They do all the work. But.
Well, they do all. I feel bad. They do all the work. But anyway, so that was my vent for today.
Nurses are amazing in the hospital. They do most of the work.
They do, yeah.
The majority of the work.
All the work.
With labor and delivery.
Overworked.
They are overworked.
Yeah. But their focus is not, like, they didn't do
that's not right.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But anyways, so leave your comments about what you think. Share our video, please, because it's important for us to start talking more about midwifery care and, getting it out there about how we need to normalize it. So share our video, follow us, like us, subscribe. Subscribe.
We got a lot of cool things coming out soon. We have a new and improved blog coming out pretty soon.
And a new and improved website.
Yes, and we're going to have an email list, and it's going to be a lot of things coming out in the next few.
Super exciting.
Yeah, we have a few upcoming events. Our birth assistant workshop is coming up.
Oh, yeah. If you want to enter the birth working field and you want to assist midwives, take our workshop.
There's a lot of midwives out there that need assist, and
skill you can use anywhere.
It is, and it really, I feel, is a good step one to see if midwifery is the way to go.
The right field for you.
If you're crazy enough to do it.
Yay! Like Sandra. We also have a Spinning Babies parent workshop coming up in July by a certified Spinning Babies instructor, which is really the only one that you should be having it done by. And that's it, I think.
That's it.
And our classes and all the other jazz, but you have to follow us to be able to know.
Thanks everyone.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you.